Hello everybody, this is Ryan, also known as Mr. Mike MCD, and today I'm going to be giving my review on the multiplayer section of Lara Croft Reboot with this year's Tomb Raider. Now, before I get into this review, I'm going to mention that the gameplay you're watching right now is actually one of the first multiplayer matches I played. It was within 1 or 2 hours of game time, and it only features myself and some random guy who helps me out along the way. It's the only gameplay I'm showcasing, as I could have recorded more, and I could have made a very well edited review. I just want to get my impressions out of the way, and this is the only footage I have since I've sold the game now. But without further ado, I'm going to get into my review of Tomb Raider's multiplayer, and let's start things off with the positives by saying I like how the game feels. It's kind of like Uncharted. I didn't play much of Uncharted multiplayer because, well, I don't have a PS3, but it's not as smooth, but it still feels nice. And this is a little attention to detail, but I like how when shooting a guy, a health bar is displayed, and you can kind of tell how much damage they have. But that's really nice when it's above their heads, and when you're shooting them, it slowly goes down, and it kind of becomes, it makes the battles more intense. And I like how balanced all the weapons are. There is one weapon in particular that I'm not so sure about. Maybe it was the guy, he was a very good player, he was like level 60 or 58 or something, but I don't know whether it was actually him or the weapon, but I'll get into that when I get into the negatives. I like the size of the maps. They're all kind of small, medium based. Sometimes they are a little bit too big, but usually they are around the right size. But I think one of the interesting things about this multiplayer is the use of traps. In the multiplayer maps, you can set up various traps, like you could be running along and then all of a sudden 2 massive spikes come and kill you, or the classic one is where this piece of rope will get caught in your leg and you'll just go flying in the air, which is pretty awesome. And I like how all the single player elements are integrated into the multiplayer, such as the axe climbing and the zip lining and stuff like that. That's really awesome, and the zip lining is still as fun as ever. The axe climbing is a little bit faster than single player, but it should be a little bit more faster, because many times I've been climbing and then someone will spot me at the last minute and I die. But you know. The level up system, it's got like prestiges and all that kind of stuff that you see in first person shooters or third person shooters nowadays, and I do like it because you level up quite quickly. There are various unlocks, plenty of unlocks actually, and it happens pretty frequent in terms of how many unlocks you get and stuff. And those unlocks can be anything from like weapons or perks, or a really good selection of characters to choose from. The fact that matches also have 3 rounds to them, there's only 4 game types, and I think there's like 6 or 8 maps, but there's only 4 game types. There's a ranked version or a public version or whatever, and they each will have 3 rounds, which is pretty interesting because you might be doing really well in one round and so's your team, and then the second round you just haven't got it, and then the final round really draws to the line. You know, you're really pushing for the win and stuff, and that's really awesome. And I do like how quick the matchmaking system is. It's super smooth, it's flawless, and probably the last positive I'll say about the multiplayer, it's really, really sharp. It's really nice looking. Graphically speaking, it's very high up there for me. It doesn't feel like they've degraded too much onto the multiplayer side. Usually the single player looks amazing, the multiplayer looks but it's kind of on the same level. It still looks awesome. Now I'm going to get into the negatives of Tomb Raider's multiplayer. I was not very keen on this multiplayer at the first, and after about 2 or 3 hours of play I ended up really enjoying it actually, and I want to play some more. I guess because, you know, I kind of give it a hard time. I thought, oh, this is crap. This is just so slapped on and not very well done and stuff, but it's actually not too bad, you know, it's actually pretty good. But we're going to get into the negatives, and sadly they do outweigh the positives. And yes, I am scrolling through a Word document and notes because I've got to try and remember which negatives and positives I wrote down. But anyway, I'm going to start off with limited amount of modes. There's only 4 modes in the game. There's a free-for-all mode, there's a team deathmatch mode, there's a kind of weird one where, well, it's like search and destroy in a way, or capture the flag. And there's another one where the bad guys have to kill 20 people, or it's something weird, like you kill them and then you collect a battery. It's like King of the Hill, but weird. I don't know, it's really weird. I said weird a lot then. There's a limited amount of maps. I mean, the maps are fine. Like, they don't pop up too often, but then you start to realise after an hour or two, yeah, I'm seeing the same map over and over again, because people keep voting for the same 1 or 2 maps, and when you try the other maps you realise, oh yeah, they're not even that great anyway, so you understand why. But I mentioned earlier about how I found the weapons balanced apart from one, and I think it's the bow. There might be other different types of bows you can get, but this guy had this bow and it just was one-shotting me all the bloody time, and it was very annoying. Considering I'm a low level and I don't have the best perks or weapons or whatever, I just could not kill him. No one killed him. He got flawless 25 kills, 0 deaths, or whatever it was, 15 kills in free-for-all. I was in like 4 or 5 matches with him, and it was an incredibly frustrating experience. I don't know whether it's him or the bow or hacking or whatever, but it was very annoying. And another thing I found very annoying was the fact that there's kind of power weapons on the map. I wasn't sure whether they would actually be on the map or in the because of the match or whatever amount of players, I don't know. But in this match you'll see, you know, some random guy comes with a bloody minigun, and I'm just thinking, what the fuck? And I pick it up right here, and it's complete rape. it's seriously fun to use, but if you don't know what the power weapons are, God, they changed the tide of battle really quickly. Me and this guy were struggling so much to try to kill these guys, and I finally got the minigun and managed to get a couple of kills with it. Another thing I will say about the maps is that, well, if you're looking right here, this map actually looks okay, but pretty much all of them, they look dull, very dreary, and pretty boring. And a couple of them feature weather effects, and I don't mind that in some multiplayer maps, but they overdo the weather effects sometimes here, where it becomes a really big nuisance. Mostly the desert level, that really annoyed me. The sand comes in, and usually you can have a vague idea where you're going, but it just covers the whole screen completely, and you can't see shit. It's really annoying. I sound like a negative Nancy, but whatever, there's some other things I've got to talk about, such as holding B to sprint, and I think you can change the controls, but why would that be the default? That's weird. That's like Lost Planet 2 all over again, and I don't really want to think about Lost Planet 2, because but this was probably the most annoying thing I found about the multiplayer, and I'm not sure, I think it's probably only in the objective game types, but there was a moment where I was killing many players, and they would go down, in a down not out situation, like kind of like Call of Duty in Last Stand and that, and they take a long period to die, and the only really way you can kill them is if you go up to them and execute them with Y, with your axe or whatever. But the problem is that their pistol is actually pretty powerful. The default pistol is anyway, and it fires fast and it's accurate and everything, and they just wreck you, and it's just so stupid. I think that's a really stupid mechanic. I don't know if it's a perk or whatever, but that was really annoying. And another thing I found annoying was the fact that I'll be traversing through the map and stuff, and me and this other guy will jump up the same spot and I'll get pushed off, and I don't understand why. I mean, I was the first one to do it, but I got pushed off. And some of the traps are not clear whether you're going to get killed or not. I mean, the spike one or whatever, that's pretty easy because there's like a rope underneath, but some of them aren't clear at all, and some of them are really hassle to get out of. And there's like 3 icons you can see, or 4 now, like in the bottom left and near the timer, and I have no idea what that means. I guess it's like medals or emblems or shit. But here's the thing that I kind of think bogs this down multiplayer quite a bit, is that I mentioned how there's like 3 rounds to everything, but here's the problem. Most of the rounds are like 10 minutes long, so you're looking at a 30-minute game, and I mean, that's fine if you're playing Battlefield or League of Legends or something like that, but when you're playing like a shooting game, you just want to drop in and drop out. You don't want to play it for like 30 minutes in one match, especially when you've only got one guy on your team, and there's no real join-in session options, I don't think. It's, well, in ranked anyway, but I didn't expect that. But it's just annoying how there's so many rounds and stuff, and there's no real skill matchmaking, and like this match and many other matches, I just kept on getting paired with just 1 or 2 guys, and that was it. Another thing I don't really like, the grenade launcher. It's on the D-pad and not on the bumper, like a normal grenade. I don't know why. And there's kind of like a martyrdom perk, or martyrdom perk, where, you know, they die and they drop a mine. You can shoot it pretty easily, but it's pretty annoying. And the fact that you can gather additional ammo from salvage is awesome, like such as extra grenades and stuff, but not when you don't know where it is. I mean, quite a lot of this is kind of, you know, connection issues maybe and learning the game, but when the fundamentals of, you know, are not, it should be more specific. I should be able to just know where that minigun is, you know. And anyway, ended off the match with a nice stealth kill. And tell you what, you know, I gave it quite a lot of negatives, but I did enjoy the multiplayer. It's pretty fun. It'll hold you over for like maybe, I don't know, a couple of hours with your friends, obviously more, and quite a lot of achievements here. There was a moment where I was distracting the guy with the minigun and my teammate got him, which was awesome. That was my favourite moment. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more. Bye bye.